Exactly 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was created. Scientists with 105 years of scientific knowledge will tell you that it was a Big Bang, but that sounds delusional, like who's going to believe that? It was obviously God. But now, some will believe that God was the Hebrew Elohim, others that it was Ahura Mazda or that it was Pangu or one of the 37 quintillion gods. You have to pick one of them all, and if you pick the wrong one, you're going straight to hell. No pressure, alright. Gravity pulls hydrogen and helium together, forming stars and galaxies, which is impressive considering this all happened 13 billion years before Isaac Newton invented gravity. Someone told the writer that the plot holes here are really wild. Talking about stars, some of them proceed to explode, quite literally, and create carbon, iron, uranium and other tools that will come in handy later. A giant molecular cloud collapses under its own weight, creating the sun through a natural nuclear fusion. And the rest begins to spin around the sun, where a bunch of rocks crash into each other for millions of years until they form a lava-covered Earth. In the meantime, a planet the size of Mars called Theia collides with Earth, and the debris from the collision forms the Moon. The planet spends hundreds of millions of years hot and under constant asteroid bombardment, some of which contain H2O that spreads as vapor throughout the atmosphere, which is a surprise tool that helps us later. The temperature drops over time and causes a whole lot of rain. So much rain, in fact, that it rains constantly for not weeks, nor months or decades, but for millions of years. Yeah, this is real. The oceans we know were created precisely through a great deluge. So during all that time, it rained constantly in at least a significant part of the planet at any given moment. So basically our planet used to be Great Britain, but everywhere. But hey, look at the ocean where the first forms of life have appeared. They're just little guys, simple cells, but they can consume minerals such as sulfur, ferrous iron, I wonder what that tasted like, and amino acids or sugars that form naturally in the ocean. They could grow and replicate themselves in extreme environments. Some microorganisms unlock the ability to eat sunlight, and after consuming sulfur and sunlight for long enough, the ocean fills with bacteria that reflects light, which is theorized to have made the ocean look purple for millions of years. But what almost certainly happened is that after that period we had one in which the ocean was green because of banded iron in the water. After that, some bacteria begin to excrete oxygen for millions of years, which is the reason our atmosphere contains so much oxygen. So yeah, we're basically inhaling plant farts. Go luck sleeping tonight. Oxygen causes a mass extinction event of anaerobic bacteria and then reacts with gases that keep the earth warm, such as methane, triggering an ice age. So we got another mass extinction event, and many cells began to group together, each taking on different functions and creating a larger organism. Earth freezes almost completely for a long period. Another mass extinction event, the oceans fill with different strange creatures with skeletons and eyes in a relatively short period of time. Some insects and myriapods move outside of the water, and small plants and fungi conquer the land, breaking down rocks into which water and small amounts of air enter, creating soil where plants and mushrooms could grow. And speaking about mushrooms, for dozens of millions of years, giant trunk-shaped mushrooms called prototaxids populated land before trees, until trees began to compete with them and ended up taking their place. Rest in peace, prototaxids, you'll never be forgotten. Then the first four-legged animals such as Tiktaalik crawled out of the water. Most certainly the worst mistake life on Earth has ever made. And now we have 9-to-5 jobs, taxes, stress and squatters. Tiktaalik, man, why do you do that? The supercontinent called Pangaea forms, and then another mass extinction event, the greatest of them all, almost resetting life on Earth by the way. For the next 150 million years, a bunch of giant reptiles you probably don't know at all dominated the Earth, until a giant asteroid showed up. Mass extinction event by the way, except for the dinosaurs that could fly, they survived. But not for very long, cause mammals began to dominate ecosystems and the tremendous flying dinosaurs transformed into chickens and flamingos. Anyway, some mammals developed larger brains, more dexterous hands and better vision. Among them were the primates, with advanced vision and grasping fingers, which inhabited the trees for tens of millions of years, evolving into different branches such as monkeys, great apes and finally in Africa, the first hominin, and the first to walk upright on two legs, Sahelanthropus, walked the earth as the first man. And the rest The rest is history, or partially prehistory. Like if you would like a part 2. Thank you so much for watching, it's been a pleasure as always, ciao!